this. I hate this.
Trey, what are we talking about today?
I hate it. Anyway, we saw Avengers Endgame a while ago, but we've been waiting so you lovely people didn't get it spoiled for you. But I hate you guys now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna spoil the whole goddamn movie because I gotta talk about this.
Yeah. Well, we have the official Russo brothers approved spoiler ban has been lifted because of that.
The spoiler ban has been lifted.
Yeah, so we're gonna spoil Endgame. Don't listen to this if you haven't seen it, but everybody's seen it.
Here, spoiler alert. This is your only warning. We are gonna spoil all kinds of things. We're probably gonna spoil Marvel movies you haven't even heard of.
Yeah, we're gonna spoil all of Phase 4. The Mighty Thor.
Yeah, Lady Thor is spoiled. Far From Home, didn't like it. Hated when Tom Cruise showed up.
It was real weird. Like, in-universe Tom Cruise.
Yeah, it's actually just Tom Cruise. And then they took a weird turn when Peter Parker just turns to the camera and talks about how great Scientology is.
Man, yeah, I think it also, like, if we're gonna talk, like, the advanced spoilers, I think the next Doctor Strange movie, like, it was really just a bold choice of them to just not have Doctor Strange in that movie.
At all. It was very weird.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like, the movie was mostly about, like, these two kids that don't even have superpowers.
Yeah. Like, I learned how to balance my checkbook, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a bold choice. I'm glad
choice.
They went
very
for it.
Very creative directing chops on that one. But yeah, back on track, though. What did you think of Avengers Endgame? Did you end up seeing it twice?
I ended up not going last night because the showing was going to be like late. I was going to go see it twice, but I always, whenever I get the urge to go see it again, it's always a late showing, and I'm just like, man, I'd be in the theater till like midnight at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, 3 fucking hours of movie, so you're going to have to sit through all that. I have seen it twice, though, so I have a nuanced opinion.
Yeah, I did though. Recently, just like the last couple of days, I've been rewatching some of the latest movies that lead up to Infinity War and Endgame, including Infinity War, I should say.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think that kind of makes me want to go see Endgame again now more because, man, like some of these lead-ins, and then there's even lines that I remembered from Endgame that I didn't realize were as referencey as they were.
Yeah, callbacks to that. Yeah.
But I mean, I think top to bottom, yeah, I loved Endgame. I don't like. What can I say?
It was a really good end to to Phase 1 and 2. It was really, really good. Like, at that, I guess I'm gonna do the praises first because like seeing it the second time, there are some things. There's some cracks that appear, but that doesn't really detract from my overall experience. Like, if you like the Marvel movie experience and you're invested in this, like, in like the story of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like, this is a no-brainer. You gotta see the movie. Like, you have to. Like, it's a required watch. It's like, you can't just not see the end. And luckily, unlike some certain media, which I won't talk about, I'm totally going to talk about that later. Get ready for that. This one has a satisfactory ending. So, like, it ties it up very well. Obviously, there's more, but like, you could definitely just stop it here, and there wouldn't be any like you wouldn't really feel like you're missing out too much. I don't think.
Yeah, I think the big thing is it ends the character arcs that it needed to. Mm-hmm. And it ends them super gracefully, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, every character besides Thor and Hulk, basically, from the original Avengers had their stories, like, basically that, like, it ended their story in one way or another, basically.
Yeah, and I will say, though, that actually I'm really glad it didn't end Thor's story, because I feel like the Thor movies were just starting to hit their stride,
They were just starting to get there. Yeah, I think that was a wise choice. Same with the Hulk, because the Hulk doesn't have... This is fun. I think this is a good chance for the Hulk to actually have a movie now that he's Professor Hulk. Mm-hmm. Like, now that he's a character instead of just, like the
angry,
force
smashy
of nature that he was. Yeah, so, like... I think now this is a good opportunity for him to actually have... I mean, I'm okay with him just being a supporting character in Marvel movies. I think that's fine, too, if that's the way they want to do it. But now, I'm glad they didn't just, like, kill the Hulk off as well.
Yeah, but, no. I will say, especially after watching Infinity War, like, Endgame has a surprisingly low body count.
Yeah, it really does. I was expecting a lot more, especially... Okay, so I think this is kind of a complaint on my end, even though the payoff for it not happening was pretty awesome. But Ant-Man has a missile explode, like, right on top of him when he doesn't have his helmet on. Like, you can see it. it literally blows up in his face.
Yeah, well, and Hawkeye too, just...
And then the next scene, he's just underground with his suit on, or like he's just tiny with his suit on. There is no way he could have activated that fast. He doesn't have any superpowers, so like...
Yeah.
It was one of those things where, like, I don't, like, it was cool seeing him punch that, what's it called? In the
the giant, like, Chitauri worm?
Yeah, that was fucking awesome, but I do think, honestly, I wouldn't have, like, been super upset if he had died in that explosion.
No, I'm glad he got to live, because if anything, again, he's one that I feel like they still can do more with his character.
I guess. I don't know. Ant-Man and the Wasp was just such a non-movie
Such a non-movie, yeah. It was
like, it's just... It literally... You can... If you just watch the after-credit scene, you've gotten literally everything you're gonna get out of it for Endgame.
Yeah, well, and they did the weirdest thing with that movie, too, we can just say on that, is that they released it after Infinity War happened, and...
Yeah.
I know you and I kind of
most of it takes place before Infinity War. Obviously, with the end credit scene, I don't think they could have released it before Infinity War, just because, like, the end credit screen obviously like confirms that Thanos wins in Infinity War. So
yeah, it's more so that just like what am I thinking? It's more so just like with after Infinity War came out and it's like, oh, now we're gonna do Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's like, how can anything of substance happen?
Yeah, and obviously nothing of substance did happen, and I think the reason they did it that way too is to like give a little comedic like levity.
Yeah,
because like Infinity War was a fucking like
heavy
like wrenching movie. So, obviously, you're not going to put, like, some heavy-hitting, like, movie after that besides Endgame. So they're just like, yeah, well, let's make like, an action comedy, like, nothing important happens, haha, it's a good time.
Yeah. But anyway, getting back on the topic, so, Endgame, what were some of the things you liked about it?
Okay, so best scene in the movie for me was when Captain America fucking Mortal Kombat's the shit out of Thanos with Mjolnir. That was the best thing. That was the scene I think got the most, like, was the loudest in the whole theater, I think, when we watched it. Was like, everybody was just fucking screaming their heads off when he just picks up, when he just starts fucking, like, doing shit with Mjolnir, just, like, beating the fuck out of him.
No, just, like, that whole block of the movie, because he starts doing everything with Mjolnir, and, starts comboing off, so everybody's like, Also, Thor's, I knew it!
I knew it.
It's so good. And then, like, just a couple minutes after he starts doing that is when all the portals start opening, Yeah. And it's just like when everybody's like, "Say the line, Cap. Say the goddamn line."
Everyone with us was like, "Say it."
And then he just hits with the Avengers. And then fuck yeah.
Assemble. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my god.
They fucking that last like 30 minutes of the movie was just like absolute pure fan service.
Perfect.
I mean, to be fair, I think most of the movie was fan service, like, kind of to the movie's detriment in some places. Like, them going back and seeing Tony's dad drags the movie to a goddamn halt, even if it is heartfelt. Like, I thought it was a good scene, but, like, man, it is, like, all the momentum just goes to a screeching halt when they go back in time, when they go to, when Thor goes and talks to his mom and when he talks to his dad.
Yeah, I don't know. The Thor talking to his mom scene, I think, has a lot more weight to it still, because it snaps him back into being his. It's at least important because like Tony would have done what he did regardless of talking to his dad. I think it was just like they knew this was Tony's last outing, so they wanted to have like a he's talking to his dad, all a super super touching moment. Again, just kind of talking about that moment, like, it was super fan servicey. Also, getting to see everything from the first Avengers, when they first jump back, and we just see the cut from the first Avengers of all of them, like, what am I thinking? Like, all of them, like, standing there posed, ready to fight. I was like,
Yeah, that was pretty great. Yeah, you get to see that scene again, and then you get to see them after Thor beats the shit out of Loki, and then Hulk has to use the stairs, which is ridiculous, but that was super amazing.
Yeah, I'll allow it. I don't... man, I just...
Like, it didn't make a lot of sense, but I'm okay with it, because it was amazing.
Mm-hmm. And then the fucking... Also in that when Captain America does I know how to get the staff. Hail Hydra. So fucking good.
That was pretty great. Like, I do think that the whole heist aspect was a little bit like overly drawn out. Like, I think that it could have cut out some of those scenes and been okay, but I'm okay with it. Like, they had to get all of it out just for the fans, and like so all the fans could have like their Cap fights Cap moment and like, oh shit. So I'm okay with it. I guess I guess my only other major complaints was like I thought the humor fell flat for me at some points. Like I thought they were trying a little too hard to be funny sometimes.
Yeah.
How heavy the movie, how heavy the subject matter is.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Especially like some of the tone, like you were saying, the movie it's got a very heavy subject, and even like pre everybody coming back when they're just trying to be funny, it's just like
Yeah, like I get it. The first movie they didn't have any time for humor besides like the Guardians, so like it was just like
the Guardians, or when Tony Stark and Doctor Strange are sassing each other.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But like that, the first movie is just like nonstop action for like 2 hours, so like I get it. They need like a breather moment just to like sit there for a bit. But like sometimes it's just like, oh my god, guys, can we please just move the plot along? I want to see that.
Yeah, I need to see the end game. I don't need to see you guys cracking jokes.
Yeah. So I mean, that was a complaint, but again, like super awesome. They did some surprising things, like the fact they killed Thanos in the first like 20 minutes of the movie. That was really surprising to me.
Yeah, you were with me.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, you were with me when we watched that, and that was like not a thing I was ready for, and that's when I think I looked at you and I was like, well, this movie is going to be vastly different than
than what we were expecting.
Yeah.
So you're just like, we're just like, well, we're in uncharted territory now. They fucking kill Thanos. He's just dead now.
Which, to be fair, that's also, if I can say one thing I really like in the movie, is the way it handles its like Planet Buster heroes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like objectively, Captain Marvel and Thor are a super OP. They're super strong.
Yeah, they're absolutely silly, and they're silly strong.
Even Hulk to an extent too. Like in the final fight, Hulk having a messed up arm from the gauntlet. I think that was like a super good touch.
And Thor weakened himself by being fat, so that was like
fat and depressed. And then Captain Marvel, like being, I think it's nice that they kept Captain Marvel off planet for the majority of things.
Yeah, I do think it was kind of a cop-out. Like, it feels like they just didn't know what to do with her, so they just sent her away.
I mean, it does make sense, because when they do the line, it's like, oh, it's happening everywhere over the galaxy.
Sure, it made sense. It's just like, why build her up so much if she's just not going to be in most of the movie, right?
Yeah, like, I think it's, again, because they just didn't want a planet buster, like, walking around.
Sure. I mean, I don't know. It almost feels like she didn't need to be around, just because, like, because if you have to invent reasons for her not to be there, then it's just like, eh. But I get it. I'm not gonna, like, complain about that too much, because, like, obviously she was important. She destroys that whole fucking ship that was just raining.
Yeah, also, oh my god. I do love also how we saw just kind of talking about that end fight scene too. We saw a bunch of characters, I think, who could have taken Thanos on their own, you know? Between her and even the scene with Scarlet Witch. And I love how the movie just handled that. Like, Captain Marvel, when Thanos rips the freaking Power Stone off and just blasts Captain Marvel, that was great. I'm sorry.
It's like there's no way he could beat her without that, so...
Yeah, and then the Scarlet Witch scene, that's still one of my favorite lines from the movie. It was when Scarlet Witch runs into Thanos, and it's like, I don't even know who you are. You will, and she just basically tries to turn him inside out. I'm like, oh my god. He has to call him.
I am glad that Thanos could hold his own even without the Infinity Gauntlet, though. Like it really put. I mean, obviously it was. I know some people. I remember. I think my brother was bringing it up to me, but like he didn't understand why Thanos could take on Thor and Iron Man and Cap at the same time. And I'm like, do you not remember the first scene of Infinity War when he just beats the fuck out of Hulk?
Yeah, he just
without any Infinity Stones, he just beats the crap out of. He just beats Hulk down.
Yeah, no, Thanos is super powerful too. Also, I'm
glad... he's very strong, and I'm pretty sure that I don't know. Maybe you know more about Thanos than I do, but like, was his weapon Asgardian? It had like runes on it. I wasn't sure.
I don't know in the movie if his weapon was Asgardian or not.
It was definitely like a special weapon, because it was fighting off Stormbringer and Mjolnir, and also it had like that weird spinny thing that could deflect lasers.
Yeah, I mean, I maybe would believe it because it was Asgardian, because in Infinity War we kind of saw that he had that dwarf, the giant dwarf, forge the gauntlet.
Yeah, he had him forge the gauntlet, and like this is because he's had that gauntlet since Avengers 1, so...
Yeah, so I mean, maybe...
That was my guess, was that it was like Asgardian make, and that's why that's why it was like it could like hold its own against like all the other Asgardian weapons.
Yeah, or there's a lot of space magic out there, and he's conquered so many civilizations.
Yeah, so it's not unthinkable that he would have like some crazy arsenal.
Yeah, because I mean, we also had like his goons, like the Ebony Maw and the other ones. I can't remember their names. The Blackguard.
Yeah.
But
the goons.
Yeah, the boys who. Ooh, man. Getting to see the Ebony Maw fight again is cool.
Yeah.
Just, man, gosh, there's so many things I loved in that movie.
Yeah,
that's why I need to re-see it.
Infinity War, I think, is my favorite of the two, just because I think it was a little more, like, succinct. Like, everything that happened in that movie felt like it needed to happen.
Yeah.
Whereas there are parts of this one. I do think that the last... Like, I mean, it's hard to top the last 30 minutes of this movie, though. Like, if just in terms of, like, fucking hype, it's just like, wow.
Yeah, I think it's that, and just in terms of spectacle, so that's why I also kind of need to re-see Endgame, is because I think as a movie, I might like Infinity War better still, but as a spectacle and build-up, I think Endgame's got it topped. Like, we've had over a decade of build-up to this movie at this point.
Yeah, and this is the conclusion, and I think that Endgame had the higher highs, but I think that Infinity War was a better movie overall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, also, again...
And, like, obviously, we had fucking, like, Love You 3000, like, I'm Iron Man. Like, how do you top those scenes? Like, come on.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, no, are we talking the death flags as soon as it's like, oh, hey, yeah. Tony has a kid. Yeah, he's dead.
He's fucking gone.
Dead.
He's
fucking
done
dead.
So.
All of dead.
But, like, that scene where he's just like, I am Iron Man after I am inevitable. It's like, well, fuck, I'm Iron Man. It's like, oh, shit.
It's so good. That, again, there's just so many things to like about that movie.
Yeah, very, very good movie. What was your favorite scene? I think I told you mine, but what was the scene where you were just like, oh, shit?
I mean, it's close because like I said, I think, like, Scarlet Witch is, you took everything. I don't even know who you are. I was just like, oh, man. And just more than anything, cool. Also, Thanos sitting there just, like, playing with his knife, waiting for everybody to show up and fight him. I'm glad we have megalomaniac Thanos this movie.
Yeah, this is definitely not like sympathetic Thanos, this movie. This is like pre-victory Thanos, where he's just like...
Yeah, no, it's... and that's just... It's so good to me. Like, I'm glad we had a villain that wasn't... Like, like, he developed and you could understand him more, but we had more the villain of, like, when we first saw Thanos at the end of Avengers, like, 1, or...
Yeah,
or whenever he was like, the post-credits scene, and everybody's like, ooh...
Because, like, the Thanos we saw in Infinity War had been conquering... Like, this is, like... Between Avengers 1 and Infinity War, it's, like, what, 5-6 years?
Yeah, 5 or 6 years, I think. Because it's 2014 is what he's from.
Yeah, so, like, he'd been conquering... He literally had done non-stop conquering for that long, so he could finally get the Infinity Stones, and I think his philosophy changed up at that point.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
he was very gung-ho in Avengers. He was very like, I'm going to do it myself. I'm the Thanos.
Yeah, well, and also, like, again, Endgame Thanos. I like how he's still like, oh, originally, I was thinking balance half everything out, but now I just see we got to start from scratch.
Yeah, it's like, yep, you guys are just going to ruin it, so I guess I got to start over.
Yeah. But, yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to pick a favorite scene. That's why, again, I need to see it again. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, I definitely recommend it. I mean, again, it's 3 hours, so like you gotta sit through a lot, but it's a very enjoyable 3 hours. So
yeah, it's too good.
So yeah, Avengers Endgame, see it, you fucking idiots!
Yeah,
what? Like if you come to if you've gotten through Infinity War and you're just somehow decide you're not gonna see Endgame, then I don't know how you exist. I'm not sure how you function. I would love you to send me some mail, and I would love to have a conversation to understand like what exactly you're doing.
Send you to a mental institution.
I don't know how you get through a decade of movies and you're like, yeah, I'm good with that. That's a good.
I don't need to see how this ends. Well, I mean, I know a lot of people are just like, oh man, I can't believe it's like going to be the end of Iron Man. And I'm still
sure.
Just surprised that his name? Captain America made it out of that movie alive.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I honestly thought that every single one of them was gonna die, like all the original Avenger cast. I thought they were all toast, personally.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought, and then it was gonna be like Welcome the New Guard, essentially.
Yeah. which it sorta is, but because like Thor's off Guardian of the Galaxy now, and then I guess Hulk's still around, but
yeah, but I'm wondering
and Hawkeye's still alive, but I'm pretty sure he's retired.
He's got to be done, man. You can't bring this man back.
Yeah, there's no way to... He already was done once, and then you're bringing him back again. There's no way.
Oh, you know what else was a good line that I didn't even realize the first time was like a reference thing?
Mm-hmm.
It's when Black Panther is talking to Hawkeye during the final fight.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you remember from Civil War, when Hawkeye meets Black Panther, he's just like, oh, hey, we've never met. My name's Clint. And Black Panther's like, oh, I don't care. And then in this movie, when he was just... Yeah, in this movie... No, that's literally the line. He's like, I don't care, and then just starts fighting him. And then in Endgame, it's just like, Clint, take this! Or something. He throws something to him. It's like, he cares. Good T'Challa.
I think I realized that one, like, when Iron Man's fighting himself, and he's like, I can do this all day. And I'm like... And he's just like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, I know. Oh, that's so...
I didn't realize that was a Civil War reference, too. Like, I've forgotten about that until I saw, like, a meme earlier.
He's been saying, I've been fighting, I can do this all day in, like, every Captain America movie, though.
Okay, yeah.
Like, that goes back to the first one.
Yeah, because I remember he did that in Winter Soldier. I don't remember the first one very well, I'll be honest.
The first one, it was, like, before he was Captain America. It was, like, when he was fighting the guys who were dicks.
Oh,
yeah.
Remember, I think in Winter Soldier, it's, like, when they were up in the spaceship or whatever. Not spaceship, the SHIELD base or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, man, yeah. Now, see, the worst part of it is now I need to go back and watch all of these movies.
Yeah, right. That's gonna be a fucking trip.
Yeah.
Have fun getting through the not great ones like Iron Man 3. That was a.
Ooh, boys. Hey, speaking
that was a movie that exists.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of the not great ones, I actually kind of had a shift of opinion on one that I thought wasn't great. But well, I went to see Captain Marvel again with my family, and I will say there's things in that movie that still bug the hell out of me.
Right.
It's a little too heavy-handed. It's just kind of like, and it doesn't, I don't know, like, I think the message it wants to deliver, it's in there, but it just doesn't do it as well.
I thought it was a very alright movie. It's like the most 7 out of 10 movie, because it's like a fun buddy comedy mostly, with just like Captain Marvel and then Nick Fury just like running around like, looking for stuff.
Yeah, like, and I think that's what I was just expecting. Maybe too much.
I do agree on like the heavy-handedness of like some of the, like, especially some of the past scenes where it's like,
you know why it's called a cockpit, right?
Yeah, like it's just like, okay, guys, yep, we get it, sexism, which is fine. Like, obviously those scenes aren't for me, and it was a thing. It's still a thing, so like you gotta like do that. But it's like very, very like in your face, and it's just like it's like an eye-rolly scene where it's like I'm not offended by this or anything. I'm just like, yep, you said that.
That's a thing that happened.
Yeah.
And no, I don't know. I went back and I had a lot of fun watching it the second time.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever see that movie again, just for like it's very average to me. Like I don't like seeing movies multiple times in general, unless it's like really, really special to me. So like that movie didn't leave enough of a lasting impression. I did enjoy it, and like the CG they did to make Nick Fury look as young as he did was like Sam Jackson make a fucking like, was he like 60 years old now, 70?
I think he's got to be pushing 70, but I mean he looks basically the same as he did when he was younger in that movie.
Yeah, he looks like he just stepped that right out of Pulp Fiction or something.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like that bad like when they had the old guy from Star Wars CGI'd in.
Yeah, or like, what was it, Henry Cavill from Superman? His lips it didn't look like that, so that was super great.
Yeah, I don't know, like, again, I wish I could say there was anything that really stuck out with me in Captain Marvel. I will say, I do hate the character of Captain Marvel a little less.
Yeah,
she's a little cocky.
She's boring, I think, but, like, there's nothing... when people were saying that Brie Larson's acting was bad, I didn't think... I didn't see it. Like, there were a lot of people who said, like, yeah, she played it, she was just being really bad, and I'm like, I didn't see it. I thought she was fine. I thought she did like, her character just doesn't emote a lot. I think that's just, like, her character is just sort of, like, she just doesn't, like, have, like, crazy high or low emotions. She's just very, like, just competent and stoic. That's kind of her thing.
Yeah, and I realized, actually, too, kind of rewatching it, that's kind of, I think, like, part of like when the Kree put the inhibitor stuff on her, it's like part of that is her emotions. So that's why she just doesn't do too much. She's
a professional soldier basically, and you wouldn't expect her to be like crazy, to have a crazy personality, and that's what Simon Jackson is for. Like he has the crazy personality, so that way they kind of bounce off well. They work well with each other, and that's why I don't think like if when we get Captain Marvel 2, which we will, because that movie sold like crazy. For reasons that were besides the movie's like how good or bad the movie was. It was a controversial movie for stupid reasons. So like, people saw it just so they could be a part of the argument.
Well, and I think
I saw it because I just wanted to see the movie. But
yeah, I needed to see the puzzle piece. I think it's also fair to say I'm 90% sure a lot of people who like to start controversy on the other side of the fence with that movie just never even saw it. They're just like, there's the woman.
Yeah, like, I mean, Brie Larson said a thing on Twitter, so I'm just gonna be angry about it. And then I'm positive because people were angry about it, a lot of people just saw it just so that they understood, like, what people were talking about. It was very weird. Like, it's one of those, like, no publicity is bad publicity sort of things, where, like, no matter how much people said they hated it, a lot of people saw it. Because that movie did really, really well in theaters. Like, really well.
Well, I mean, it was almost the same as, like, when Black Panther was a thing. A bunch of angry white boys got mad at that movie. How come there's only one white guy in the cast? And it's like, first of all, there's, like,
why
4.
Why did Andy Serkis have to die?
Oh, God. Yeah, Andy Serkis is a gem. I just rewatched that movie, like, this morning.
Yeah. Killmonger is a racist. It's like, It's like, I mean, he's also the bad guy, so...
Yes, he is.
So you're not wrong. He brings up good points, but he's also a bad person, so there you go.
Yeah, and Thanos did the same thing in Infinity War, and now we have Thanos did nothing wrong as...
Yeah, like, it's like the only reason it's an issue is because he's he hates white people because he's a fucking...
Because white people did shitty things to...
Yeah. He did shitty things to black people. Like, okay, yep. His motivation makes perfect sense. Y'all are just angry, so whatever.
Yeah. And that was another... Like I said, I just watched Black Panther again this morning. God, that one's still good.
It's a good movie. I will agree the CGI has not aged well. Because when I first saw it, I didn't think the CGI was bad, but like... Now, I rewatched the fight scene and the train fight scene. It looks like a fucking video game. It does not look great. I will agree. I think the choreography was pretty good, though, for the most part.
Yeah, no, the choreography in that movie's great, and...
I just don't think that movie had a crazy huge budget compared to a lot of Marvel movies nowadays. But because they weren't expecting it to sell as well as it did.
Yeah, well, and did you see, like, what the budget for Endgame was?
I did not. I'm assuming it's, like, astronomical.
It's, like, $370 million or something. It's, like, the third most expensive movie ever made, I think.
Jesus. I'm not at all surprised.
Yeah, let me actually look. Yeah, $356 million.
Yeah, that's insane. It's a lot of money. A lot of money. You can tell.
It had almost 3 times the budget as the first Iron Man movie.
Jesus.
Just so you can know how these movies have taken off in the years.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell. I mean, you had to have Hulk. Hulk was a major character, and he is CG the entire movie, and it looks good. And same with Rocket Raccoon. Like, they're just in the movie. Mm-hmm. Like, they had to make sure that looked good the entire movie. And Thanos. Like, it's just CG all over the place, and, like, a million sets, because they're going on throughout time and shit, so...
Yeah, no, it's insane. Do you think... This is one other last thing kind of on Endgame. Do you think Endgame is going to surpass Avatar as the highest grossing movie ever?
I think so, yeah. I believe so.
Because I think as of right now, it's only, like, 200 million away.
Yeah, it overtook Titanic in, like, the first week, which was ridiculous. Like... Mm-hmm. So, if it doesn't, I will honestly be surprised. Like, lifetime sales of that movie, if it doesn't overtake, say, like, in theaters, if it doesn't overtake Avatar, I'll genuinely be surprised.
Yeah, well, because, I mean, it's only been... when did Endgame even come out? The beginning of May, or did it come out in...
I think it was, like, late April, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think it was, like, April... It was after 420.
Yeah.
April 26th. So it's been out for less than a month and has made...
Yeah, and it's already made absurd... It's still in theaters, so, like, it's gonna be in theaters for a while yet, so...
Yeah, I think its theatrical run. I wouldn't be surprised if its theatrical run goes through the summer at least.
Yeah, like it's just such a huge movie with Disney behind it, and like it's gonna be around for a while. If it doesn't oversell, if it doesn't overtake Avatar, I'm gonna be like crazy surprised. So
Yeah.
speaking of, I need to rewatch Avatar at some point. 'Cause, movie I enjoyed. I enjoyed it. I've seen that movie. I've seen that movie like 5 times, 3 of which I weren't by my weren't
Of your own
like by
volition,
choice.
like,
yeah,
yeah.
like it was just like people who around me wanted to see it, and I was like, I guess I'm here, so I might as well see it.
Yeah.
I think it's if you just like go in being like the story is not super original, but like it's still a decent enough story, and it still looks like I watched like about like a third of it on the plane ride back from Africa. The CG still holds up. Like it's still one of the prettiest movies ever made.
Oh,
Somehow,
yeah.
I don't know how James Cameron did it. Like it's prettier than 90% of the movies that come out. Like was it like 6 or 7 years later?
Mm-hmm. I think
More than that. I was in high school when it came out, so it's like damn near a decade old now, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's got to be. I think it was like sophomore year of high school, so 2009-ish. So it's got to be a decade old.
Yeah, like it somehow looks better than most movies. Yeah, it came out in 2009, so yeah, it's a decade old. It's a decade old movie. Looks better than most movies that come out today. Like CG wise, like I don't know how they did it. I genuinely don't know how like James Cameron could do it.
I think it's honestly got to be. I think kind of the thing with that, and comparing it to something like the CGI in like the Marvel movies, is the Marvel movies they still have to look like people, and in that one, like they could really cross the uncanny valley because it's all alien life.
True, but they're humanoids, I guess. I mean, yeah, it had, apparently that one had a $237 million budget, which at the time,
it would probably be more with inflation, but
yeah, it'd be similar with inflation probably.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this isn't the Avatar cast. The movie came out a decade ago. Y'all should probably see it if you're interested in like CG spectacle movies.
And it kind of ties back because Zoe Saldana was also in that movie.
Yeah, and also apparently they're making 1 million Avatar movies. So that's
I'll believe it when I see it. That's been a thing for a decade.
Yeah, right. They've been in development. Again, they've been in development for a decade, and we still haven't seen the second one.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I'm with you. I'll believe that when I see it too. But I watched another movie.
Speaking of CG,
another movie doing very well at the box office this week.
Yeah, and it ties back to we were talking CG. So what you got on that?
Oh yeah, so I saw Detective Pikachu, and I have opinions.
Go for it. I was almost thinking to go see that.
Okay, so I'll get the good out of the way first. Because like I said, I have opinions, and I might get roasted for this, but seeing all the Pokemon together was really, really cool. I really like seeing like how they like, I want to see more stuff in this world that they set up, because I think it's probably the coolest like iteration of like Pokemon living in the world I've ever seen. Like there's a lot of like little details that you can tell the people who made the movie were obviously big fans of Pokemon, because like they got a lot of things right.
Mm-hmm.
Like about it, like I guess it's a very minor spoiler, but there's a scene later where they use a bunch of Loudred, and then the Loudred are basically making dubstep, and I think it's a very like, that's pretty funny. Like,
yeah, that's what they would do. I like that.
Yeah, like the people, the DJ's using them to like make music for a thing that's happening. And I was like, That's pretty cool. I like that. And, like, it's really, really cool seeing the Pokemon around. And, like, the amount of Pokemon, like, they don't just, like, pick Gen 1 Pokemon. Like, you see Pokemon from every generation, like, all over the place. Like, that's really cool. Ryan Reynolds is the star of the show. He does a really, really good job as Pikachu.
I was gonna say, of course he is.
Yeah, like, whenever he's on screen, he steals the show, like, of course. But, like, that's about as where my compliments end. Like, I'm glad it's doing well, because I want to see more movies in this universe. Like, I see a lot of potential here. But in terms of the movie, it's not very good. It's not a very good movie.
I heard it was like a campy, fun
It's
thing.
A fun movie.
If you go in as a B movie, I heard it was good.
It's a fun movie in the sense that, again, I think it's mostly just Ryan Reynolds having a, like, it's a lot of fun when he's around, and he's in it for a lot of the movies, so, like, you're just, like, you're having fun with that. But in terms of, like, plot, it is atrociously bad. You can't even use the it's a kids movie excuse. Like, the plot is nonsense. It's complete and utter bunk. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, from anywhere you look at it, the plot is completely nothing. There's a nothing burger plot. I won't spoil it, because I think if you like Pokemon, you probably should see the movie just to see, like, the spectacle of it. I think it's a very fun movie in that sense. They managed to avoid Uncanny Valley for the Pokemon for the most part. There's a few exceptions. Gengar looks like a horror monster, and not in the way that you think Gengar
not in the way
would.
a ghost
like,
should.
Yeah, like, Gengar's supposed to be scary. No, it mostly this is scary in the sense that I hate looking at him. Like, he's just like, I don't like seeing him. So, Mewtwo. There's a scene where Mewtwo. There's several scenes where Mewtwo smiles and shows teeth, and I hate it, and I want to forget that exists.
Yeah, that's the Sonic teeth all over again.
Yeah, like, I don't like to imagine that Mewtwo has teeth, and they definitely didn't design his face to ever show his mouth open. Like, there's a reason he never opens his mouth in the movies, because, like, his face is like a tiny little, like, beak at the end of his face. Like, it looks really bad when he opens his mouth. It's not something you should want to see ever, and he does it for a lot of the movie, and I hate it. I hate it a lot. I hate it so much. But for the most part, I think they did a really good job. I think the Greninja, too, kind of have, like, they kind of look like guys in suits a little bit, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But besides that, though, it's very, very good. All the Pokemon look great. So I think Pokemon fans should see it just for that. But, man, for a movie called Detective Pikachu, there sure is no detectiving basically at all. They do one little bit of detective work in the whole movie, and then the rest of the plot is literally explained to them.
Yeah.
So they figure out nothing, basically, the whole movie. There's a love interest character in it. As far as I can tell, the whole reason she's in the whole story is because she has a car, and the main character doesn't.
And I see no better reason.
Yeah, well, ostensibly she's a reporter. She doesn't do any reporting in the movie. The only time she does any reporting is to tell the character something he already knew. So, well, that was pointless. No real reason for that to be in the movie.
Yeah.
And she has a Psyduck, and the Psyduck has one important moment, so...
I know at some point Ryan Reynolds' Pikachu has to rub its feet.
Yep. There's a moment where the feet rubbing on the side. So, like, she's useless. Like, she just doesn't... She's just... And, okay, so... and I think the biggest complaint I have with the movie is, besides Ryan Reynolds and the actor, the rich billionaire actor, I don't remember his name. Besides those two people, every person in this movie is the worst fucking actor. I don't know where they found these people.
Just everybody kind of phoned it in, you think? Or
I don't know. Like, it is... I think it's a combination of bad dialogue, plus, like, whoever was directing them made them, like, overact a lot. Like, really, really overact it. So, like, it just does not work at all. You can tell... It kind of acts like they're, like, a stage play. Like, it's like a... Like, there are parts that, like, genuinely remind me of, like, high school or, like, early college level play acting.
Yeah, just...
I am very overacted. Yeah, just very overacted scenes. Which I guess kind of laughed at most of the time, but, like, whenever, like, the main character I did not think did a good job. I don't know if that's, like, him. I think it was him, though. I think he just did not do very well. Like, it just was not a good showing from him, because, like, anytime he tried to emote at all, it just came out sounding really, really cringy and forced.
Which is, like, weird. I don't know.
I think it was a problem for me, but, like, I just think, like, it's not a good movie, but I think if you like Pokemon, you should probably still see it. It's a weird review. I don't give movies recommendations like that very often, where it's like, it's not a good movie. In fact, I would probably say it's a bad movie. Like, if it's a pretty bad movie. But I think you should still see it if you like Pokemon, because this is the best, like, iteration of a Pokemon movie you can get.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Like, Ryan Reynolds is super funny. The acting is so bad it's actually pretty funny sometimes, and, like, the convenience, like, of the plot is so stupid at times that I think it's also pretty funny.
like I said, I've heard it's kind of like a dumb B movie, and it's a kids movie, right? Like,
yeah, it's a kids movie. It's like one of those kids movies that is definitely also marketed towards adults. Like, there's a lot of adult humor in the movie.
Yeah, like the
like
20-something-year-olds who have been playing.
Yeah, like a lot of there's a lot of adult humor in the movie, especially from Pikachu himself. Makes a lot of like a ton of like suggestive jokes and things. So,
yeah, no, it's, I don't know. Like I said, I think I'm definitely gonna go see it.
Yeah, and I think you should see it. I think like if I were to give it a score, I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 10 with an asterisk of like unless you like Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, do not see unless you're a Pokemon fan, in which case, yeah, probably should see it.
Yeah. I mean,
give them your money. I want to see more stuff in this universe.
Yeah, it's like you were saying. Well, and I don't know like what else they would make in this universe then, because just
a battle or like something about like Pokemon battling would be pretty cool. I think like
that would be cool.
An actual trainer or like something to do with like one of the legendaries or something. Like if they had to like if you made like an Indiana Jones style movie in this kind of like some big world trotting adventure in this world, I think that would be super cool too.
Yeah, I think that might be cool to see. Like the big
like I think that would be I think there's a lot of potential. Like I like that's just stuff I can rattle off at the top of my head. There's probably way better ones too.
I mean, yeah, it's because I know it's just based on like the Detective Pikachu game, which was its own weird.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. From what Austin was telling me, because he played the game, like the plot is for the most part completely different, except for like the setup. Like the setup is like the main character loses his dad, and then he meets a Pikachu who can talk, and apparently that's where the similarities end. Like the plot is completely original past that point.
Yeah, well, because the game was like I tried to play the game. The game was like the kiddiest kids game. It was like Ace Attorney got dropped on its head, kind of.
Yeah, and this one is like we're in gritty Pokemon town. We go to a fight club at one point, so it's like
Pokemon Fight Club, which is like weird to think about in the Pokemon world if we're gonna put it in context, because Pokemon battling is a thing.
They have because like the world they're in is the game world, which is weird because they make several references to like places in our world. So I guess it's like some weird amalgam because like Kanto exists, and the Mewtwo in this movie is implied to be the same Mewtwo from the first Pokemon movie.
Huh.
Like, heavily implied. Like, it apparently this takes... From what it sounds like, this takes place, like, 20 or 30 years after the first Pokemon movie.
So Ash Ketchum is still 10 years old, and...
Yeah, so Ash Ketchum is still 10 years old, but, like, everybody else is, like, is probably in their 50s or 60s at this point. But it's heavily implied it's the same world, but they reference France, like, twice in the movie, which, okay. So I guess
why wouldn't they just reference Kalos, then? Because Kalos was France.
I don't know, but they referenced Kanto, so Kanto exists. But the city that they're in, Pokemon battling isn't allowed, so there's an underground Pokemon...
Yeah, dogfighting.
There's no trainers. You're not allowed to be a trainer in that city. So you can have a Pokemon partner, but he's just a guy who follows you around. It's a Pokemon that follows you around and just like partners with you, but you're not allowed to catch them. There's no Pokeballs or anything.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of cool. Maybe they could do it with it'd be fun doing the Mystery Dungeon series as movies.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of potential, and like stay with this art style because like I wasn't super into it at first, but like seeing the movie, I think it really works. I think the art style. Like the realistic, but not like super duper over realistic.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of the Pokemon still just looked weird. Just the Ludicolo from the one trailer. I just remember going, "It's like, oh, I'll get another coffee, thanks."
Yeah. See, that was pretty funny though. I actually,
it's
I don't know. Like,
it's terrifying.
It worked pretty well in the movie, but with a few exceptions. Like I said, Gengar did not look good. I really hope they redesign that.
Please fix it in post.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my opinion of that movie. I think it's worth your time if you like Poker Man.
If you think you'd like it, go watch it.
Yeah.
Stunning review. Glowing
useful
review.
Useful review. Very useful for your purchasing decisions. If you're not a big fan... I'll narrow it down. If you're not a big fan, like, if you, like, watch the old, like, 90s TV show, like, years and years, like, all those years ago, and you're just like, I used to like Pokemon, you probably won't enjoy this movie very much. Like... I think you'll get some novelty out of it, but like if you just kind of like Pokemon, you probably. But if you're like a fan of Pokemon, like you're
like a stunted man-child like myself,
yeah, like if you really enjoy if you still enjoy the games and stuff like that, I think you'll enjoy the movie.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm still gonna enjoy the games. I don't know. Sword and Shield's looking clean though.
It does look pretty clean. I really like the idea of being in Pokemon England. I think that sounds really fun.
I'm about that. I just I need it. I need it to be good.
Me too. I've been getting so many Nuzlocke cravings, so I hope it's not like easy baby mode was like Hey You Pikachu or whatever.
Oh yeah, Hey You. Yeah, Let's Go Pokemon. Those games were baby games for babies, man.
Yeah, like I really hope that this one is like a more like quote unquote, none of the Pokemon games are hardcore games, but like the style of the style of Pokemon that I like to play is like if your Pokemon faints, he dies and you have to get rid of it. And you have to catch the first Pokemon you meet. They call it Nuzlocke.
Yeah.
And you literally cannot do that in the Let's Go ones, because that's an easy baby game for babies.
What do you mean you can't do it? You can't release Pokemon in it, or what?
Well, you have to use in the gyms. You have to use a Pokemon of the type that you're the gym leader is weak to.
Oh, you have to? That's lame.
Yeah, they literally they force you to have a Pokemon, so you can't Nuzlocke it. I don't even know if you can release it, and also there's no battling outside of the the trainer battles. So
yeah,
because
catching Pokemon is all just done in Pokemon Go style.
Yeah, and so like a lot of the fun of Nuzlocke is that if you run into a Pokemon and you're not prepared for it, and it kills one of your best Pokemon, that's just it. It's gone. That's the fun of it for me, is like having that like lethality factor. And this one, since there's no Pokemon battles outside of trainer battles, it's just like, what's the point? Like,
more than anything, yeah. If this game could just give me multiple save files.
That too, yes. Multiple save files or like difficulty settings would also be welcome.
Yeah. Actually, no, because on the Switch you can just make another profile then. So you can have multiple files.
True enough. Yeah, you could just make a new profile and play it on that.
Yeah, that could be my Nuzlocke file. We did it. We figured it out, boys.
Yeah, there you go. I recommend trying Nuzlocking. I think it's fun. It's the only way I can play Pokemon anymore, because I think Pokemon's a little too easy.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff they got too easy. Like when the EXP share wasn't a held item and it's just a thing you turn on. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and it gives everybody EXP and stuff. It's just like, it's a little too. EXP. The games are just like it's a little brainless. Like it's just like the game basically plays itself. It felt like, so I was just like,
yeah.
Well, I was just like, I would rather just having a little bit of make it like. Not even like hard, just like have a little bit of challenge, so it's not just like.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I've kind of said before, I still battle a little bit, but I do the competitive battling.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have all that on Showdown now, because I'm not enough of a sadist to breed and narrow down my perfect IV'd Pokemon. But Pokemon's still fun.
Yeah, Pokemon's still pretty great. I still enjoy Pokemon. Yeah. Besides that, though, like, have you watched or played anything this week that you want to talk about real quick? Or
I know I watched something. Let me look it up.
I have one thing that I'm pretty like I had a meltdown about something this week.
Yeah. If we wanted to get into that, I don't know if we have enough time to.
I could touch on that real quick, because that fucking gave me an aneurysm.
What did I watch? I can talk on one thing real quick, and then maybe we can save. Because next week, then you can hold your opinions on the thing.
That's entirely fair. Because the last episode of this show that shall not be named is tomorrow. So yeah, I can give my opinions on the season as a whole tomorrow. Next episode.
Yeah, real quick, I can talk. I went through a dumpster fire. Not kind of a dumpster fire. I don't know if I hate it. I think I hate the show. But Tuca and Birdie, I watched.
Oh, okay.
Did you watch it at all yet, or
no? I haven't touched it.
Okay. For me, it's just like they always advertise it. Netflix did as from the art team behind BoJack Horseman, and you can tell.
And you can tell.
Yeah, it just looks like BoJack Horseman. But I think it's also important to realize it's like from the art team, not the writers, just the art team. So
I mean, it looked like it didn't look super great to me. Like the trailers didn't make it look like something I'd want to watch. But like maybe you can change my mind on it.
No. I don't think I can.
Oh no!
I mean, the show. It's just like it goes for. It's much more of like a comedy than BoJack is. You know, BoJack has like the dark comedy, all that, blah blah blah.
Right.
But this show is just like random off the wall comedy because the two main characters are Ali Wong and I can't remember her name, but she just did the movie with Kevin Hart, where she's like his teacher or something.
I probably didn't see that.
Yeah, it's like a lot of what she does. But like basically the whole show is like these weird fever dream, like I almost don't want to even say like cutaways. Like, what is the person's name? I have to look this up real quick. Oh, they don't even list the voice actors, man.
Oof.
Yeah. No, it's very like just things keep happening. They always feel like, and there's jokes I've laughed at in it, but
yeah, was it funny? Did you at least think that there were funny parts?
You'll laugh like a little bit. I mean, I laughed like a little bit. Like there's one joke, I don't remember what it was, but the entire point of the joke is basically the one bird gets sexually assaulted at work, but like not sexually assaulted, sexually harassed at work.
Oof.
Yeah, and to the point where her boob is like, "Oh man, I'm just leaving. I'm done today." So her boob pops off and goes off and gets drunk somewhere.
Oof.
And that's the joke. Oh, and then there's this part where they have to chase a turtle around that has a guy's grandma's ashes on it because he mixed his grandma's ashes with sugar. And again, it's like the whole art style of the show too. It's like it's almost like a lot of the art from the BoJack episode where it's his mom's flashback, where it's these weird like cutaways, or his acid trip episode. Yeah, like it's weird.
Yeah, I'll probably pass on it. Like, I don't know. This is probably, we can have this conversation later, but I have not been super impressed with Netflix originals recently. I don't know if like I'm not sure what it is. I just haven't. There hasn't been a lot of Netflix originals that weren't like documentaries that I've watched recently that I've had a lot of that I've enjoyed.
I feel like at this point, yeah, Netflix just throws so much, like Netflix shows made from the ground up, at least they just throw so much out there now. Like, it doesn't have like the same thing as like, I remember it was a big deal when like Orange Is the New Black started streaming, and it's like, oh, this is a show we got to make from the ground up. We don't have any rules stopping us. But now it's just like, oh, hey, fucking, you want to watch a new season of She-Ra and the Princess of Power?
Yeah, I don't know, like, I've been genuinely trying to find some Netflix shows like that are recent and original and not reality shows or documentaries, because those are still pretty good. Like those are, I don't know if it's like easier to make or something, so it's just not, it's easier to make those, so like I think that but like it feels to me like the writing is just not good in a lot of these newer shows. It's just like the writing and the plots are just not very tight. And I hate that and like I think that longer running shows like the like BoJack's and stuff are still pretty good. Like are still really good. Yeah. But like the new shows that come out, I have been really, really unimpressed with. Like just really like they just don't seem very good to me, and like it's a shame, and I hate that I'm thinking that, and I'm sure there's like some exceptions that I just haven't seen yet.
Yeah, but I think that's the big thing is, I think, it's just Netflix at this point, they're just trying to throw things to the wall and get something to stick, and they're like,
like, there's just so much stuff with so little quality control that like it's just just flies around wildly, and I think it's a little frustrating. So like I would like it if Netflix shows were a little more consistently good.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I think it's more to them. They don't care about having the tag on it. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of like a thing where they'll have a couple that, like, you know, there's like things that TV shows and stuff, like, you know, at Game of Thrones with HBO, it's like, that's the reason to have HBO. You're like, yeah. It's like, Last Week Tonight's real good, but you all bought HBO for Game of Thrones.
Yeah, so. For Game of Thrones. Yeah, and like, I guess there hasn't been like a new show that is just like has like captured that like fire I have for like BoJack or like
for Netflix at least, I'd say for sure.
Yeah, on Netflix, yeah. And like there's still good stuff, like Umbrella Academy is pretty good. Dragon Prince is great.
Oh yeah, Dragon Prince. Love, Death and Robots was real good.
I haven't seen that still yet. So.
Oh, you need to watch Love, Death and Robots. It'll take you like an hour to watch the whole series.
Okay.
So go do that. Go do that now. But yeah, no, I don't know. Like, there's just a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, Netflix.
Yeah, and we can have a more in-depth discussion about that later because we're running up on the time limit now. But
Yeah,
we're running up on an hour now, but like I think it'd be an interesting discussion to have, just like of like what Netflix's recent strategy of just like pumping out originals has been.
Yeah,
just like throwing them, and like and I personally think it's kind of for the worse.
It really is.
Like,
I think so too. Like, have some dignity in your brand, man.
Yeah, like you don't need to throw your brand on literally anybody who wants to make a show. I think it's a little bit, it kind of dilutes the good shows, because it's really hard to find shows that are good. And I would love to have a discussion with that, like a discussion with Tyler on that one too. I think that would be
for sure. We'll have to get that. Oh yeah, by the way, we didn't mention it. Tyler's gone this week. He hasn't just been silent the whole time.
He's still here. He's just very quiet.
Yeah, right, Tyler.
He said he's nodding. You can't see it, but
he nodded. He nodded. But speaking of which, yeah, we are about hitting that time. So maybe do we let the dumpster goblins go? We gave them what they needed. We spoiled Endgame.
Yeah, we spoiled Endgame, so you're welcome.
Yeah.
You don't need to see the movie now.
Yeah, no, just have Trey and I act it out scene by scene. It's
scene by scene. We'll do yep.
Yeah, it gets real weird when we have to do the Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch scene.
Yes,
There's
weird.
a lot of sexual undertension between me and Trey.
I mean, that's just normal, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, goodbye.
Anyway, get out of my house. Get the fuck out.